Hello, it is I, Wyatt does stuff. And yes, today I am under an allergy attack. So I might not sound the best right now, but that's okay. Today I wanted to talk to you about the cognitive functions of the personality types. The 16 personality types based on MBTI. And how I personally feel about them. Or should I say think, because I'm a TIU here. Funny. Anyway, we're gonna start off with the judging functions, the judging thinking functions, then the judging feeling functions, and then we'll go to the perceiving intuitive functions, and then finally the last one, the perceiving sensing functions. Now, the judging functions are the thinking functions and feeling functions. Everyone has both of those in their. We all have the 8 functions, but I'll tell them my placement and what I think about these functions personally. So we're going to start off with the dominant. We're going to start off with the introverted thinking function. This function prioritizes logical analysis based on their own observations, at least in my experience, and this function is dominant in the INTP and ISTP. Now, I think TI, if I'm not wrong, this could be any as well, is very good at observing things and thinking them through, making systems out of these things. We can just spend days analyzing something and not come to a conclusion because we don't have enough evidence to come to the conclusion. However, I found myself getting faster at using TI, but you still have to think really deeply about stuff because, and again, it could be NE also doing something about that. So we're going to go on to the next function, extroverted thinking. From my observation, extroverted thinking is taking information from the outside world and thinking, what is the best way to mimic this? What is the most efficient way of doing this? Because of this, TE users are usually a bit controlling because they want stuff done in an efficient possible way. Also, this is the dominant function of ENTJs and ESTJs. Now, this is a great opportunity to note that, and what do I feel about extroverted thinking? I didn't say anything about introverted thinking, but then again, that's my dominant function. Did I say anything? I think I did. Yeah, I definitely did. But extroverted thinking, I feel like personally it can come off as a bit controlling, especially because it's my 5th cognitive function. It can come off as a bit controlling and a bit inconsiderate of other people's opinions. A bit too close-minded, even the ENTJs, which can be a little bit more open-minded than the ESTJs. Did I say ENTJs are more open-minded? They would be because intuitive. I'm not gonna. Okay. Never mind. Scratch that. Centers are good at specific things, but so are intuitives. So, I'm gonna move on to the next set of the judging function, the feeling ones. Introverted feeling. Introverted feeling, from my observation, is a function that is, it helps you. How do I put this? It wants people to feel deeply about stuff and come to what are your values in life. I'm not going to change them based on the group's values. Just like TI, because both of these functions can be incredibly stubborn. The introverted functions in general can be really stubborn, and I'm talking about all 4. There is 4 introverted functions. Yes. So, if you know what the INTP function stack is, you have any function stack. It's dominant, auxiliary, tertiary. I say tertiary, it could be tertiary, I don't know. I don't care. Tertiary makes more sense. And the inferior functions. These are the four main ones that you will use. And then their extroverted or introverted counterparts would be basically that same order, but your fifth through eighth function. So, introverted feeling is my eighth function, meaning I don't really prioritize introverted feeling. It comes off as a bit judgmental to me, but FI in general, it's not judgmental in a way. It wants people to feel, it wants people to consider the emotional aspects of things. I can respect FI more than TE, because I don't know why, but I clash with TE so hard. Extroverted feeling. This cognitive function is like introverted feeling, except that extroverted feeling cares about the emotions about everyone else in the room. They want to make everyone else happy, and they want to help guide people in the right direction. Now this is my inferior function, meaning it's in my main function stack. Because of that, FE in general is really good for me because it helps me not say stuff I probably shouldn't say. Because I care a little bit about people's feelings. Because I do care about people's feelings. Especially my friends. It helps me to be not a robot, in a sense. But FE dominance... Oh, did I forget to mention FI dominance? FI dominance are INFP and ISFP, and FE dominance are ESFJ and ENFJ. And FE dominance can come off as a bit controlling, especially because, they probably have good intentions, especially if they're healthy ones, not the unhealthy ones. The unhealthy ones probably just really want control, especially the ESFJs. FE, I can understand at least a little bit, but it's hard to grasp it personally. It's hard to understand it, but I have it. It doesn't make any sense. But okay, TI's probably just gonna analyze FE. It's like this. Shut up. You're wrong about this. TI's probably gonna go like, okay, so FE, you do this. That's what it should be. Now, let's move on to the perceiving functions. Introverted intuition. We're gonna start off with that one. Introverted intuition is the dominant function of INTJ and INFJ. I probably should have said this before, but TI is introverted thinking, TE is extroverted thinking, FI is introverted feeling, TE is extroverted. FE is extroverted feeling. Why did I say TE again? Okay, so NI, or introverted intuition, is the dominant function of INTJs and INFJs. This function prioritizes a long-term vision for the future and it can be very helpful in accomplishing this because it's very good at seeing patterns about stuff. You know what I mean? Kind of like its extroverted counterpart, which I'll talk about next. NI is my sixth function personally. And so it's not prioritized as because I'm an INTP. But, so this one. These NI can come off as a bit, too tunnel vision like, because, they're good at intuition, let's be honest. They're very good with future possibilities about stuff. But it's kind of too narrow for me to understand NI too much. I can understand its point of view. It has a long-term goal, especially because it's intuition and not sensing. We're going to move on to the extroverted intuition, or the NE-DOMS. This is my auxiliary function personally, and is the dominant function of the ENTP and ENFP. This function in general comes off as a very... NE comes off in this really, like, oh, we're gonna do this. What are the possibilities? What are the possibilities? I was describing extroverted sensing for a second. Well, we're gonna do this based on ideas. What are the future possibilities of this? Basically, future possibilities. I do have to give any DOMs the benefit of the doubt, though, because I normally would have a positive outlook on them. Any DOMs, both of them, can be extremely scattered, though. I do have to say I appreciate the creativity, but they're kind of scattered, and I mean, I can be a little bit scattered. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but they're even more scattered than I am. And I'm like, okay, hold on. And plus, they can be a little bit too much to handle from the perspective of an INTP. And if an ENTPs, please listen real quick, because do not take the INTP leaving the conversation as a sign of, oh, you don't care about my perspectives, do you? It's because we need to analyze. We need to think. We can't just go on infinitely like you can. Next, the sensing functions, the final ones. SI, or introverted sensing. This function prioritizes familiarity and is the opposite of what I just talked about, which is NE. Because of it prioritizes making a structure, making plans, and like internal sensations to and past experiences to go into the current world. SI is the dominant function of ISTJs and ESFJ. ISFJ. ISTJs and ISFJs. I mean, they all have it. All SJs have introverted sensing, but we're not talking about the extroverted ones. We're talking about the introverted ones. SI DOMs are very dependable people, which is something I can respect. But they don't leave room for the possibilities. They can be a bit too narrow-minded, closed-minded, however you want to say it. They won't consider the possibilities of anything. Plus, they will work way too hard, and at least from my perspective, they work way too hard. They need to slow down and think of the possibilities, not just by the book, because by the book will get us nowhere in life or society. Well, I mean, society it will, but if we want to grow as humans, we really can't rely on it. Next, the final one. Also, SI is my tertiary function personally, so I mean, I can understand it a little bit more than FE, but granted, the final function, SE, or extroverted sensate. This function absolutely drives me. This function drives SE dominance, or which are the ESTPs and ESFPs, tend to go, wee, I'm gonna collect sensory data over everything in my environment, and I'm gonna take it all in to get these new experiences so that it fills my energy. And SE, for me, is probably one of the functions I can understand the least personally, because it's like, let's go out and enjoy the moment, the present moment. And I'm like, well, slow down. Let's think about this and discover all the possibilities. I think that the SE users need to chill out a little bit. Also, that's Okay, sorry. I'm like, oh, that's weird. But yeah, that's SE Downs. Now, those, I hope you enjoyed all 8 of the cognitive functions. Even though I tried to organize it, but it didn't turn out to be organized in the end. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something new. From the random INTP out there. See you guys in the next video. Hopefully it's not too long. I can't make promises. I know I made a promise to do a video on, was it this Wednesday or last Wednesday? I don't know. About schools, but I'm probably not gonna do that actually. Anyway, be kind to others, consider their perspectives, and see you in the next video. Bye!